I'm on fire today, you guys. Good morning, good morning. So I have been tossing around this conversation in my head, which is like, what would it look like if I went all in today? What would it look like if you went all in today? And it's been a really cool conversation to have with myself, which is like, I sit there, if it's a little echoey, I'm sorry, I'm in my office, and let me just open this. So I've been super fired up. My dog's gonna come in now. I've been super fired up about really just taking myself on, and on all different levels, like my fitness, my ability to be a wife, my really been challenging myself to take on the next level of business, and to let go of more, just let go of more, like the fear of it's not even a fear, it's just actually redesigning your environment and what you focus on in a day so that you can actually accomplish more in the area that you were meant to be working in. So for example, if I do more lives, I'm thinking about adding a live at like 2:30 in the afternoon. And if I do more lives, if I do more web classes, I have some web classes in me that I want to teach so badly. Like, I want to do a web class with my husband around what it's like to work together as a couple, and what does he focus on and what do I focus on, and how do we actually get there for people who are looking to either work with their partners or to possibly take on partners. Like, it doesn't have to be a husband or a wife. I want to do a webinar on how to actually just open up another division inside your company that's completely around your passion. So it's like, and then probably I'll do a webinar on the conversation I'm having right now, which is like, how do you and I get in the habit of really just doing the one thing that we're best at? I mean, I was born to be a coach. If I could coach you all day long, if I could literally go from webinar to live to event to coaching our clients, if I could just do that all day long, first of all, I'd be fired up and I'd love it. Second of all, I could get more done in 4 hours. Like, I could do a 4-hour day. Really, I could do a 4-hour day and be much more impactful than doing an 8-hour day. She likes this. Than doing an 8-hour day, doing all of the meetings and things like that I do inside of our company. So I'm playing with this experiment of just going like just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go and see what happens if I just let it go. And so I'm literally in this conversation, and I'll share it with you as I do it, but I'm in this conversation of, every time that I do events or lives or coach our clients, people pop. And at the end of the day, I'm in business for people, and people pop. And so what is that in your world? Like, what would it look like if you went all in today? Like, there's one thing being good at what you do, and would you get off my lap? There's one thing of you being really good at what you do, and it's another thing you being extraordinary. And the only way you can be extraordinary is to literally, first of all, be in team and not be in isolation. You got to be in team. There's no way, Cuddles, enough. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Hey. Good girl. Good girl. Nope, go to bed. Go to bed. Hey, down. Good girl. Sorry, I had to keep my commitment there because she just got trained, and if I let her skate, then her training will get broken. So it's like you can't do it in isolation. You have to do it in team. And I just did a presentation at our church the other day, and I was asked, what's the one thing that if you were to look back on your business that you would change? Go to bed. Here, come here. Sorry, you guys. Down. Good down. Good down. She's only 10 months, so she's still learning this stuff. If you, they asked me, what would be the thing that you would change if you look back? And the thing that I would honestly change, and I said this to them, is I would have let go of average or good people a lot sooner in my team. And so now if you're on a team, I'm going to say, look at yourself and say, am I a 12? Am I operating as a 12? And you should be in a team. I'm in a team. And I look at myself inside my team and say, am I a 12? You know, and I measure myself like this. Like, I believe right now I'm being a 12 in my team. I mean, I'm looking at our call confirmation team. I'm looking at our sales team. I barely look at our coaching department because our director of coaching is just really strong, and I feel like she's doing an extraordinary job. But I will be circling back around in that division next month. And it's like, I'm looking at so many different areas inside the company and still performing at a high level inside of the coaching and the live events. So I'm sharing this with you because if you're not a 12, it's really hard for people to be around you at 12. In other words, like, if you want an extraordinary team around you, it's not about paying people. It's actually about being an incredible role model and holding the source of everything around you to operate like that. However, there's not always, because right now I can say I don't have anybody on my team right now that isn't extraordinary. This is the first time I can tell you in my entire history of running this company that I don't have anybody on my team that isn't extraordinary. Like, everybody's extraordinary on the team, which is like a blessing. But saying that, the team only mirrors you. And when you look at growing your company and you look at like doing what you're doing, you have to. My friend Bedros said something that I thought was really powerful. He was teaching, I think he was teaching at last year's Zone event. And he said, like, when he changed his leadership skills, his company exploded. And he goes, I had to become a different leader because he was, extraordinarily frustrated. And it's not like you don't get frustrated as a leader, but you got to shift quickly, right? If you want people to follow you when things break down, so you can practice this today because something will break down. When things break down, how do you respond to that? Do you get resourceful or do you get, resistant? Do you get resourceful or do you get resistant? If you get resistant, then that resistance will permeate through anybody that you hang out with. Your reputation will get flawed with the people that you spend your time with in your personal life, and it'll get flawed with the people who are helping you inside your company. If you get resourceful, what happens is you teach other people that they don't have to stay in their role. You know what I mean? Like, they can actually venture out of their role and make a difference everywhere, which you're going to need, especially if you're a small company. You need the type of leaders that look and they'll just roll up their sleeves and get the job done no matter what. They need to be like you. And the reason why you get frustrated when you're not with a group of people like that is because you end up being the point person for everything. And when I used to say, when I was in this moment in my business, I cue everything. I literally walked around doing this. It was like, why am I queuing everything? It's like everything's dependent on me. And it was like, oh, well, because I controlled everything like that. I would jump in and just do the job versus train other people or allow other people to make mistakes. So now, like, inside, I just sent out a memo to everybody in our company just the other day, and I said, look, we're Blitzscaling, which is a book that is amazing. And I was like, we're Blitzscaling, which means that if things are breaking in your department, don't feel bad about it because it's part of the process. So my message to sharing that, it's like, if you're growing, not only do your profit margins move around, but things break, it'll be like the minute you've got one area of your business figured out, the other area will start to break. And so that's a good thing. It means that the plates are moving. And when the plates move, this breaks. And then you get this plate up here, and then it moves, and then this breaks. And so when that happens, it's actually it's great. And so, but if you get really bent out of shape every time things don't work so well inside of your life or your company, and you get resistant versus resourceful, then what happens is you become a stress basket. And if you become a stress basket, you become a horrible leader. So again, it's not about not having a human experience where you get frustrated. I get frustrated. But honestly, it's probably for about 2 minutes. Even like sometimes I'll call my COO and I'll say, can you hold the bucket for a minute? And she'll go, yeah. She'll hold the bucket. Us girls know that, right? She'll hold the bucket and I'll go, I don't understand why this and this and this and this and this. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good. All right, so now how do we get resourceful? Because that's not the problem. Just my emotions around it are the problem. So I have to release the emotions so that I can get back into the driver's seat, to the power play position, and literally figure out how to be my best self, which my best self creates the best results. So I'm literally creating 40 days of millionaire, 40 days of millionaire prosperity right now. And it's a prosperity plan. And I was asked to do it, so I'm doing it. And literally it's how do millionaires think? You know, how do multi-millionaires think? They think differently than a six-figure business owner or a $30,000 person or a $10,000 person. They think differently. And I want to share with you, whether I was in corporate America working on a team or I led a team, I had a period where I made okay money or I made no money in both genres. The one as an entrepreneur was a little bit longer of making no money, but that's because if you put me inside an already established team, I'm a powerhouse, which I know you are too. And so, but I want to speak to both places. There is a road of not so powerful resources like pay, and then the road gets stronger where you're getting paid decent, and then to get paid extraordinary, whether you're inside a company or you're leading a company, is actually totally up to you. And it becomes not how hard you work, it's how resourceful you are at getting the job done. How much stress can you take off a situation, okay, or a person? How much stress can you take off them to just get the job done? And then how good are you at communicating that the job is done? Let me repeat that. This game is whether you're in a team, like working for someone else, and you're in a team, which I don't like the word working for someone else, because really it's your mission too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're just playing different roles inside of a company. Okay, so I could never be the CEO without a team of extraordinary leaders. You get what I'm saying? Like, their reputation is getting as big as my reputation because they are key players in the company going to the next level. So whether you're inside a team and you're working on a movement, or you're leading the movement, whatever that role is, in order to get extraordinary income, you have to become resourceful about taking the pressure off a situation and then communicating that it's handled. So if you're the visionary, you need to figure out a way of communicating that to your entire team, because people feel in isolation when you are the only one making the shots and they don't know when the wins are happening. Okay, so you have to figure out how to communicate it. If you're in a team, then you have to grab a hold of the situations that might be falling apart or challenging, solve them, empower people around you, and then communicate to everyone that this has been accomplished. If you don't communicate, then nobody knows that the superstar in you is resourceful enough to keep climbing. So now I was asked to create this millionaire prosperity plan. Yes, it's on paper because your brain works better on paper first. And I'm writing down things like how I think and the conversations I'm saying inside my head. Is this helping you guys? If it is, please comment in the comment thread. I want to hear, like, is this helping for you guys? Okay, so do you like the idea of this millionaire prosperity plan? It's basically, what are the conversations I'm saying inside my head that are transforming the way that I make decisions, and essentially moving my company, my mission, my happiness, my peacefulness. As the company grows, I'm committed to growing my peacefulness at the same time, which helps my joy, right? And so I'll give you some of the examples of some of the things I say in my head. So I say things like, I'm completely in service, and as long as I generously keep giving, it'll all work out. I say things like, I have a knowing, like, this is going to work out because I have a knowing inside me that I'm supposed to speak in stadiums, right? Like, so you have that knowing. I say to myself, I always say to myself this, it always works out for me. I walk around saying that it always works out for me. It doesn't matter what's happening in my life. I literally say it always works out for me. I also say I always get what I want. And I know that might sound a little icky, but I say it. I literally walk around and I say, I always get what I want. And I think you're rewarded for that level of certainty. I mean, like at the end of the day, if you believe in God, it's like if you're the DNA of a father that powerful, then you 100% have to be a powerhouse. If you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, you probably wouldn't follow me, right? So it's like, if you think about that, like we look at people on the planet that are born into these legacy families, these families that like make a huge difference in the world. We look up to them. We're like, oh, she or he's the daughter or the son of so-and-so, the prince, the queen, the Rockefellers, the whatever, right? Like, and people think power, right? It's like every single one of us has that power. You can be the beginning of that story inside your own human family here on this planet. But at the end of the day, we all come from our maker. We all have a maker, and we come from that maker, God. And so we have to be a lot more powerful than what we're actually showing up as right now. So like saying to yourself, where it might sound a little cocky, like I always, things always work out for me, or I always win in the end, or I always get what I want, or I have a knowing that I'm supposed to speak in those stadiums. Maybe you don't know what you'd say yet. Maybe you're still working that out. And the process of still working that out is the only reason why the stadium's not here right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're stopping things because you're still having a conversation you're not ready somewhere in your body. And when you're having that conversation somewhere in your body, then what happens is it's really hard for that thing to come forward because you won't step into it. So what are you going to do today to play at a 12? Because if you could play at a 12 right now, I'm telling you that one of the mantras is, as long as I keep putting effort in, it will pay off. As long as I keep putting effort in, I will cross that finish line. As long as I keep putting effort in, I know I will master this step. See, I have a belief around that. And so now when I put effort into something, cuddles. Oh my God, you guys, she's got paper dripping off of her. She's just ripping up a paper. You are such a puppy. As long as I put effort in, I know that I will master the step. And that's why when things are breaking down along the way, I really don't get frustrated if it's something I did or something somebody else does for longer than 2 minutes. This is also one of the reasons why I don't get overwhelmed, because I have this prosperity plan that I'm now taking out of my head and putting it on a plan for you, so that over 40 days, you can literally like meditate on each one of these mantras, where you sit for 10 minutes and you think about the mantra of the day, and you're going to repeat them 4 times over. And as you repeat them 4 times over, you're going to start to adopt some of them. You're not going to adopt all of them, but you're going to adopt some of them. And then you're going to find yourself saying these things to people as if they're real. And when you say this to people as if they're real, then what's going to happen is you're just going to embody that new level of thinking. You see, I'm going to tell you, I have kept people on my team longer than I needed to because I thought that I needed them. I have partnered with amazing human beings on this planet, but did all the work because they were not emotionally ready to carry the vision of where I was going. Why did I do that? Because it made me feel safe. You see, I've had to adopt this new thought process to be able to create $1 million business, because just working hard doesn't create the freedom that you're looking for. It's actually the decisions you make, and you have to think like this for those decisions to happen. So I'm asked multiple times a month to partner with people, to meet people, to hang out with people, to be friends with people, to pick my mind on things. And honestly, I think that it's the way that I think that allows me to connect with just the right people, because everything that you're about to do is connected with the next level people. And so I just want to share this with you because it's so critical that you're making the correct decisions for you right now, and they're not the most comfortable. I don't want you to partner with people or to be holding yourself back. I just did a VIP day with a client yesterday, and I said, I want to grow your group program to 200, 230 people. She's like, I can't. I said, okay, this is like the third time you've said I can't. I go, why can't you? Well, because I can't, there's this piece I do in the program that I can't do on that level of a scale. I go, this is called innovation, which is the way that you think. So one of the mantras on here is if I keep putting in effort, the innovation will show itself. In other words, like say you've got a big stage you want to speak on, you're afraid of speaking. Soon as you book the big stage, you'll come up with the presentation because you put your butt in the fire. And so what happens is it creates the result. So if you're creating out of a place of I can't, in any level, like my client, I can't scale it to 200 because I can't deliver the program the way I need to deliver the program. She's already at an I can't. We're coming to the end of this. Let me close this. Cut off! And so we need to shift that so that the I can't becomes an innovation. So anytime, and I know that there's someone watching right now, that you think, because maybe you're a therapist or something like that, or you do deep work, that you can't work with larger groups of people. And that I can't is keeping you stuck. Because even if you want more freedom or want more impact or want more money, it never comes from I can't. It comes from a mind, a very fertile mind, that only partners with people who are emotionally stable to go to the level that you can feel inside, that knowing. You have to partner only with people who can embody it, they're emotionally stable to go there. And then secondly, you have to have this framework so that the decisions you make and who you spend your time with actually elevates. Have you ever been in a position where it's like you know amazing people in your life, but you don't hang out with them that much? You hang out with the people who break down. I used to have that conversation in my life a lot. So all I'm trying to do on this Coffee with Shanda is have you start thinking about prosperity in a different way. Thinking about why you're making the decisions, and are you going to be a 12 today? Like, are you going to operate as a 12 today as you're working through whatever you're working through? Or are you going to be in resistance? So it's resourcefulness or it's resistance, and it's your choice. So I'm going to end Coffee with Shanda now. I will see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. For the last Coffee with Shanda for the week. And I look forward to being with you. Please share this Coffee with Shanda if you found it valuable. I'm going to keep working on this 40-day millionaire prosperity plan, which really is a multi-millionaire prosperity plan, because this is how I think. And if you study these and adopt these, you're going to naturally, some of these are going to absorb into your DNA. And you're going to start believing them and thinking them after 40 days. And let's watch everything up level over those 40 days. All right, God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Please share if you found this valuable. Talk to you soon. Bye.